Hi guys, welcome to another Melbourne preview. Darren Potter, professional punter. Thanks for joining me as always.
Looking forward to it, Matt. It's an absolutely cracking card on Saturday, and get your teeth into this one, punters. It's from a punting point of view, it's full of opportunity. A bit dangerous because you can't cover all the bases. You just got to find the right horses, back them at the right prices, and let the results fall where they may. But these are the sort of cards that over time that, you know, if you do the right things, you will win on.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, speaking of winning, we're trying to work it out. We think your Saturday sets, the last 10 of 12, have all been in the profit.
I think that's about right. We haven't had a bad day in a long time. We had a terrible run back in May, but we weren't losing badly, but we just couldn't get the results to fall our way. Now, if you head back to 10-1 shot and a 6-4 shot, and they were in a photo, the 6-4 shot was getting it every time. Just results weren't falling our way, but recently that's all turned around, and we've got the momentum on our side, and can't see any reason why we can't just keep it going right through the spring. So.
All right, well that's beautiful. Darren's interim is actually available right now, so those that signed up nice and early, you'll have it in your inbox, and otherwise jump onto the One to Follow website for the products and you're there.
Hopefully a few of you took advantage of the offer for yesterday, and you got yesterday's set and finished the day with a
we should talk about that. We did a little deal for anyone that had our Pro Bet Alive, got Darren's set, and you could also buy the Pakenham set yesterday, one out. A nice little win as well, especially the last race.
Yeah, we're having a good solid day, which was that's what it looked like, a day where you just sort of had to chip away at it and try and squeeze a profit out, and fortunately we backed I'm not sure what it was, 5 winners or whatever, up coming to the last, and found the last winner, and it got out to an amazingly good price, and
sure did.
Paid $18 on the totes. So
like VTOX or something.
VLOX.
Yeah, beautiful. So VLOX coming home with some class form and a bit of fitness on its side.
Yeah, no, it had a really good jump out, and I thought it had a good chance first up at Sandown. And it was ridden, you know, in a very negative way, shall we say? You know, almost an interesting way, and was making very good ground late in that race when it saw a bit of room, and it looked to me to be a really good chance in that race yesterday, and I'm just very surprised at the price. I mean, I for half of my stake I took $11 in the morning, so that shows you what I thought. I thought that was a good price.
What did you mark it on the sheet?
Might have been $8, I think.
Okay.
And I can't remember, because when we first did that race, Diamond Valorias was in the race, and it came out. It was a ridiculously short price, but then Kansas Flower just took its place, and all the other horses didn't stay at the same price. So anyway, he was a good price, and it was a good result for us. So.
Well done, and a bit of loyalty factor for those that've been on Pro Bet Alive. You got that for free, and Darren sets. Whenever you like a card on a Wednesday, you'll be doing those as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I look for the tracks that I like betting on, so that's Sandown, and I'll always be happy to bet on this new track at Pakenham, racing.com Park. It's a lovely, big, spacious track where they seem to get their chance. So I avoid things like Seymour and some of the other provincial tracks. And if it's an out-and-out provincial meeting, the market's not worth the time. So it's the metro meetings only, but particularly at Sandown and Pakenham, we'll be happy to have a go at them.
Beautiful. Let's talk about Caulfield on Saturday. We've got the rail in the 9 metre position. Looking back at the recent events at the 9 metre, I think the last one we had was a bit of a rain around that day. This is a different scenario Saturday. Yeah,
it doesn't look like any rain.
And it was an off the fence sort of day, wasn't it? Or they got off the fence late anyway.
Yeah, late. So I'm expecting something similar again. There's been 2 of these in the last 12 months, and both days there was a little bit of rain, which sort of tends to, you know, encourage the jockeys to edge off the fence. When I'm not sure, because the April meeting when that happened, as the day went on, a lot of horses were getting up the inside and beating them, so they were overcompensating. So
drying out factor or whatever.
Yeah, so I think early on in this meeting, you know, what have we got? We've got 128 acceptors. So I think early on they'll stay in formation, and then they'll slowly creep out across the course of the day. Late in the day, I would think the off the rails mid draws will be an advantage. Even though the last race is a 1600 metre almost staying race for 3-year-olds. So, but you know, the favourite there is going to be in the box seat, and I don't know if that'll be a good idea late in the day.
All right. Well, let's jump straight into race 1 on Saturday. The market has 230 for Keen Array, 440 and 480 for Bassett, and also Mahawib. What we're thinking here, Keen Array comes from the provincial circuit and stepping up to, or is it stepping up to a harder grade on Saturday?
Well, for the last 6 weeks or so, I've been saying on this preview that the Melbourne 3-year-old colts have been no good.
Yep.
Which leaves a void to be filled for potentially horses coming down from Sydney or fresh horses on the scene.
Yep.
So last week we saw the start of that filling with King Like and a nice fresh horse on the scene, and Raphael's Cat doing nice things, and lifting the benchmark for the 3-year-old colts so far this season. That's been the best performance in Melbourne. And we strike this race here on Saturday. It is an absolutely cracking race. This race will be real form, and this will make it harder for the Sydney colts coming down here, because all that other sort of Gold Symphony demonstrate type form will be superseded by this race tomorrow.
Yeah, well, Mahawib has a 4-length win over Demonstrate as a sort of example to work with.
Yeah. So, like, a filly like Sweet Redemption, I would have been happy to back her against those other colts.
Yep.
But she won't get a look in here. There are 4 genuine horses with real talent, and they're all got really good winning chances. It's just a matter of finding the value in them to, and then hope the result falls your way. So let's start with Keen Array. So
was it 2 synthetic track wins?
Yeah, one at Geelong, one at Pakenham. So he's a horse that the first time I spotted him at the jump outs last prep, I thought this horse has got something to offer.
Yeah.
And I backed him at both Sandown and at Bendigo. Yep. And he was legless. Like, it was just pretty clear that there was something wrong with him. As soon as he was put under pressure, he just dropped out.
Okay.
And he was woeful. So he's come back this prep as a gelding, and they've obviously ironed out the issues. And he has had 2,000 metre runs on the synthetic against legless horses.
Yep.
And he's just made a complete mess of him.
Okay.
So all that tells you is he's a talented horse. He's got something to offer.
Yep.
But I would say that if Mawahib, Bassett, or Ability were in those races, they would have destroyed those fields as well.
Yep.
So he's in here with a genuine chance, but he is far too well found in the early markets, and if he stays that price, I'll have no choice but to bet around him.
Yep.
Even though I think he's, he's been priced as if he's got 2 or 3 lengths improvement off those runs, which he might have, but he might not have.
Yeah.
And he is up at 1100's a different kettle of fish. He's on the turf. It just won't be as easy for him, and this is a real race. So
that's good, because he qualified in our early unders article that we've put up there. So I'm happy with that.
I think that's well spotted.
Shortest horse on the card, basically.
Yeah, well spotted. There's 4 real chances here. So the favourite can't be 6-4 in my view.
Okay. All right. What do we think then of the other 3?
Okay, so the horse with the fitness advantage here, who I'm definitely backing, is Ability.
Okay.
Ability, Marty's debut in a 975 at Swan Hill. Like, you wouldn't think that he'd run into much there, but he ran into Stellar Collision.
Yeah.
And he was very green, and he really chased hard late there. Like, he hit the line chasing that horse, and another 100 metres he would have been right with him.
Okay.
Stellar Collision that went to Sandown and won well against the buys. Ability went to Sale and ran into a really good maiden with horses that'll win in the city.
Yep.
There were a number of horses in that race that, got city potential, and he just absolutely toyed with them and just gapped them late. He's a horse with Saturday win written all over him.
Yep.
So he comes here and runs into a fair dinkum race.
Okay.
But he's had the 2 runs under his belt. He's 3rd up. He just looks a great chance to me, and he's the one that's over the odds in the early market.
Okay. Beautiful.
Mawahib just destroyed Demonstrate at Moonee Valley prior to spelling. It was a soft win. He's trialled well. He'll run well.
Yep.
Bassett produced the best 2-year-old colt performance in Melbourne. Late in, well, it wasn't really autumn. It was getting close to winter.
Yeah, victory over King Like.
Yeah, he beat King Like.
Very good and very recent form.
Yep, and he's trialled well, and he's right in the race. So
it's
an exciting race. I mean, I'm not going to bet heavily in it because I'm scared of Keen Array, but it's a really good race to have a look at.
Okay.
And these horses will all be winning races over the carnival.
Sounds very good. Race number 2, over the 1400. Pretty open affair. $4. It's open in regards to this market. We don't know if you think it's open. $4 good value, $5 for Pago Rock, $6. Yeah. There's a host of them around that, under double figures. So, much excitement here.
Well, no, we go from the first race full of 3-year-olds, exciting 3-year-olds, to a bunch of older horses here, and most of them are out of form. So they're all searching, trying to hold for this. There's nothing really here to latch onto with certainty.
Okay.
It's a bit of clutching at straws going on. Okay. However, I think there is a good betting opportunity. There's only one 4-year-old in this race. The 4-year-olds have been killing the older horses. It's Moon Over Manhattan. He resumed in the farcical race that Fell Swoop won at Moonee Valley, and he just sort of drew inside, got down on the fence.
Why was it farcical? Was it the speed that it was run?
Oh yeah, they went at almost 2 seconds or a second and a half slower than the other 1200s on the day, and it was all about the first half of the race. They jogged to the 600 and just started to build up from there, and under those circumstances Fell Swoop was just way too good, but the race was no test. And they all finished in a bunch behind Fell Swoop. But
that's good to know.
Moon Over Manhattan is completely unsuited in a 1200, let alone a slowly run one, and he was on the fence. You know, a lot of horses there should have run past him, and they didn't. His run, it was a really good barrier trial. Superb barrier trial.
Lovely for this.
So he's the only go forward horse in this race, really, unless they try and fire Rugged Cross up at 1400. Or Pago Rock. But anyway, he looks like he gets complete control of the speed to me, and I think with a bunch of tired, struggling, out of form old horses chasing him, he'll be extremely hard to get past. And I think so. I think I took some $7. I think there's still $6.50 sort of prices around. That's a good price. The other horse that interests me a little bit here at really big odds, went around in the same race first up, Scream Machine. If he gets close enough at 1400, he can be really dangerous, you know what I mean? So the way this field's structured, I think they'll bunch coming to the turn, he'll be within reach, and you know, he'll finish finish strongly, you know what I mean? Like, he's capable of that sort of thing.
He sure is. Okay.
So he was unsuited first up. I mean, they're like, Rhythm of Spare's a horse I've never really got my head around. He's probably coming off the best prep run because he went around in the what's the leader that's been winning a series of races?
Oh, the
Charmed Harmony.
Yes.
So he went around behind Charmed Harmony, but he was beaten out of sight and did nothing. But it's a good prep, and he's every now and again he bobs up. Good values thereabouts, but he hasn't looked like winning a race in quite a while. Same with Pago Rock. They're all sort of racing okay without looking like winning. So
just collecting little checks for the owners.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's go to race number 3. We got Malagira at $5. We've got $5 also for Capset, $7 and $6 for So Does He and Coram. The 1400 metres, race 3.
So this is our add-on race. Our
love this
make up the numbers to 9 race.
Benchmark 78.
But it's an interesting one.
Something.
There's something here. So again, we're looking for the 4-year-olds. I'm going to try and explain this as clearly as I can, without confusing myself or anyone listening. Staviva rounded up Capset at Bendigo in the last stride.
We've all seen
Shortly
that.
before that, or a week or two before that, Armada and Coram clashed at Cranbourne. And it was a developed print in the old language. It was very close. No one knew who won. And then yesterday, and the weight structure here is exactly the same, so there's no difference in those two races. And yesterday we saw Armada and Staviva go to city races at Pakenham. 1-1 race 6, 1-1 race 7. The merit of their performance is almost identical. If you marry the times up, it's almost identical. The last sections are almost identical. There's nothing to separate them. And then the two horses that they both better nose appear here under almost identical circumstances. So they're very hard to split. So slight leaning to Capset because he's going to race closer to the front, and he's got one good Caulfield performance to his record. But Coram will come after him late, and I think they'll probably fight the race out. Star Fortune's coming off the synthetic, but he's doing nice things, and he's got one of my favourite combos. He's third up plus 100 metres.
Okay.
So he'll be finishing off strongly. And Malaguira's a horse with talent, but he's second up, jumping 1100 to 1400 with 32 days or something between runs. So he's sort of in there with a chance, but I think he'll struggle to beat these other horses at this stage.
Okay.
So does he, fits in there again, but as I said about him a number of times, at this grade he just seems to find one or two better than him.
Okay. And that's it.
That's it, that's the race for me.
Yeah, look, I think not a great deal of excitement, but a little tip there. Third up 100 metres. Little something that you've got there.
It's a great combo, particularly if it's coming off the right sort of tempo in the race that you're coming up from.
Yeah.
You don't want that to be a slowly run race. You want it to be a solid race.
Okay.
But,
All right, I like that. Race number 4, we're also at 1400 metres. 280 for Sedage. We've got $8. Lucky Largo. Yeah, it's Dainstrom, Petite, Diabolus, and a couple more down the bottom. Let's quickly chat about Sedage.
So did you just check that price just recently?
I did.
Across the board?
That was probably with one corporate.
Right. Okay.
Why you think there's a bigger price around?
Well, the reason I'm asking is when I first did this race,
I'll have a look while you chat.
That's the sort of price I marked this horse.
Okay.
And there was 330 out there, so I had a nibble at that, and then shortly thereafter there was 350, and a few others followed.
Okay.
And it just had the feel it was going to be a set against this horse, and it has been in and scratched since its first up run.
Okay.
And it is 28 days between runs, so if the stable secret sort of thing starts to happen,
yep.
It would easily be a favourite that you could see people being keen to lay.
Okay.
However, today, all day, it seems to have been backed. So, if there's no prices over $3 left, I'd say that this horse is well fancied.
Okay. $3 a tab. I just had a quick look.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so
hanging in there.
It's one of those ones that we won't really know until the final part of betting.
Okay.
But on form, Sedage has got a string of runs that are too good for these. Mm-hmm. The map is perfect.
Okay.
And she only needs to be well fancied to win.
Right.
So she'll get up outside the lead, which will be Dainstrom. Mm-hmm. And just unless something untoward happens here, it's a decent sized field. There are other horses that could upset the apple cart, but she just looks like getting everything her own way, and she's clearly the horse to beat. But I want to have some other.
Well, let's talk. I want to talk about Dainstrom quickly, because it does come from the race that you're very keen on Abide With Me, the Kiwi. But from what I've seen, it's done a bit of work on speed. Are you happy with the way it battled on for a race like this?
Well, yes, but.
Yep.
Yes, but like she's a
lengths. You're talking. We're still talking lengths between it and Sedage.
Yeah, and the problem with Dainstrom, she just hasn't won a race for so long.
Yeah.
Now mares that, a bit like Albanita last week. Sometimes they pull your pants down, but I'm prepared to let that happen.
Yep.
She's got a chance, but to me, I've taken the long handle to her.
Doesn't have the killer instincts that you look for.
Yep. No, not with a horse like Sedage sitting outside her.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just no good. But there are some other alloys that I want. Mm-hmm. I mean, but punters that like Dainstrom, don't let me put you off her, because last week, Matt wanted to discuss Bonorum, and I said, no, it'll get run over, and there it was, winning at 20-1. So,
it's just angles and prices, and the Dainstrom, it's about $10 or $11. It'll probably ease by the sounds of it, I reckon.
Yeah, well, I could see there'd be some punters that wouldn't mind that price, and
map advantage might keep it there, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. There was nothing wrong with the run first up. Yeah. So there'll be people that'll be interested in her for sure. Yeah. But as a rule, I just don't until they win. Yeah. I'm happy to let these mares go.
I suppose if Sedage is $3 out to $3.80 on Betfair late, you might be thinking they're going backwards with it or something.
Yeah, well, or she's not with us. Who knows? But that sort of thing happens.
Yep.
Lucky Largo resumed for the Freemans, and she put in a terrific effort. put herself right in the race and just won not nicely. So she goes in. KJ's Joy's joined the David Hay stable and has put 2 good runs together. Last one was against the boys, so that's a good enough credential to have a hope here. And the other ally I want on my side at really big odds is Alley-Oop, who comes from New Zealand with sort of okay form, not great form, but she's really fit, and she's coming out of a sort of strong 1600 metre race with a gap between runs. So if a few of these are getting tired late, which is possible because they're all sort of early in their prep and 1400 tests them, and I can see a few of these sort of wobbling a bit late. She could be the one that just moseys on down the outside and ambushes them. So there we go.
A few little tips for the punters there. Let's go race number 5. How many 1400 metre races do we have? Giulietta's $4. Don't doubt Mama. Not don't tell your mama. 4.8 for Sacred Eye. Sacred Eye, yeah, this is a look, Giulietta's. I don't know. It's going okay, isn't it? It's I always had Giulietta as a little 1100 metre squib. But it's sort of it ran pretty well last start, didn't it?
Yeah, a very slowly run race.
Yeah, okay.
So, the way with the scratching of Bada Warrior, it leaves Giulietta in as a chance, but
just that.
To me, she's limited.
Yeah, I think we always thought that from its first victory at Rose Hill that day.
That was a pretty slowly run race, and she didn't really hit the line well enough for me to. I think there's just other fillies here that'll round her up. So with some reservations, I'm willing to oppose her.
Yeah, fair enough.
So when I first did this race, Bada Warrior was still in it, and I liked her, and it sort of naturally meant I had to bring Don't Doubt Mama with her because they ran in the same race, and Don't Doubt Mama finished in front of her, albeit with being in the right part of the track. Well, on face value, Don't Doubt Mama's the horse to beat here. She comes through that strong race that Stay With Me won with Pasadena Girl and Jamaica. They're the only ones that finished in front of her. So that's the strongest forms. It's that simple. So she's got to be top pick. And the other one that interests me is Sacred Eye. She won on debut on the synthetic. She beat a team of no-hopers, but she completely gapped them and hit the line really nicely. So she's done she's done everything you could possibly expect for a young horse on debut. So she's got serious talent, and she's got to be a chance in this race, even though she's sort of fairly well found, unfortunately. So
all right, sounds good. Let's before we jump into the 6th race, let's quickly talk about Pro Bet Alive. You've been a part of it for quite a while now, but John Walters joined the party, and it's good. How are you finding working with John?
Excellent. He's a good man, John. He works hard. I mean, the bloke mustn't sleep.
No.
And he just he's betting all day yesterday, had a set yesterday, and somehow he had his set for Randwick out by lunchtime today.
He just must love it.
He absolutely. I think that comes through in his work. I mean,
he does.
When I put in my set, I provide comments for the horses that I think are the key horses in the race.
That's right.
John Wilder provides a comment for every horse.
And it's not just like a one line; it's like a paragraph.
A paragraph for every horse, like that. If I was to do that, I'd have RSI. He's a good man, and he's finding all the right horses. He won again yesterday. He won last Saturday. His set last Saturday was just
it was perfect.
Super strong.
It was.
And that's what'll keep happening. The last month in the Pro Bet Alive chat room's been active and interesting. I think
it's been much better. We sort of opened it up to some trials, and we've got some new blood in there, and it's nice. There's freshness, there's energy. We've got a guy on track in Melbourne as well now who's providing lots of entertainment, but also some prices and some movements. And we've got obviously Glenn and Dallas, and also Warren Huntley down in Melbourne with that mounting yard.
And if you're watching, Dolts, no more threatening to shag me. There's no justification for that. I don't care what price the horse is.
Juffy might be a little bit you're stepping on his toes there, Dolts. But join Pro Bet Alive. There's a link up the top of our website. It's $99 a week, and someone said yesterday on the Twitter, they said, thanks for the free set yesterday. I've just paid for my Pro Better Live membership for a month.
Well, awesome.
So there we go.
Good. And can I say, like, in addition to the info from John and I, which you get early, like just like as if you buy sets. For instance, last week I was doing some betting in Sydney, and I went into the Bounding Catkins race, planning on not having a bet. It's a good. And we got the mail from the track that Bounding had paraded poorly, and you know, it was easy to lay Bounding. It was easy to back Catkins at that price. And you know, I made good money on that race out of a race that 10 minutes before jump I wasn't going to have a bet. So I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Exactly right. It's a perfect way to use the chat room. Like, some people are going to follow your set to a T, others will go in there with a bit of an open mind. And that's what you did, and that's how you capitalise on it. So anyone can do that. We're on again tomorrow, and both sets, including John Walters, will be with you this afternoon. There we go. Race number 6, the Testarossa Stakes. We're at 1200 metres this time. So we have a horse we mentioned, fell swoop around the $3 mark, $5 for Java, Charlie Boy around $9, and Sarajevo, we've been told, is racing in Sydney. Look, I suppose what you're saying for fell swoop, a few extra ticks for doing what it did, but it didn't sort of teach you any more about the horse.
No, it taught you nothing about the horse. But he was, prior to that, he was flying. So that was like a good tick over barrier trial. It's like a trial since a good win.
Well, I think I was on him, and I was sort of thought he was going to he's missed his run. So I'm giving it a bit of a tick there for making up ground on the inside. He was too fast for those horses. The way that it was just a silly race, but so it sort of didn't tell you much about him. But his win before did. For sure. So he's at 4 runs in this time.
He's just flying. He's the horse to beat here because he's got good tactical speed. He'll be ridden by D. Oliver, who's just in sparkling form. So he's top pick, and market's got him about right. So you have to have him on your side. Once you get past him, this race opens right up, and there are a lot of horses that could do something here. But you know, the only one I'm sort of a little bit interested in is Galaxy Pegasus. He comes through the same race. He drew gate 1 at Moonee Valley, which was a death sentence, and they decided to drag him back to last, and he just went around. It was just like a barrier trial. So his gate 1 again here, I would think they would want to be a bit more positive, hold a spot, and he's big odds, so I think he's okay. So but again, then you get to, there's all sorts of dangerous runners here. Like
there's a bit of Queensland form around Charlie Boy, and also Ullman and stuff like that.
Sarajevo.
Sarajevo's out, isn't it?
Oh, is it out, is it?
It's racing in Sydney, I think.
Oh, that's good. Java's another one. I mean, he's never really done anything. He's running a lot of slowly run races, Java, so I can sort of see where they're coming from with the price, but it looks way too short to me.
A little bit flattered to you,
so I'm just, you know, to me it's fell swoop, really.
Happy with that. Race number 7. Look, this is a good race. Hazard scratched from a wide barrier last week, and I'm sure it probably would have been in the perfect position and had fitness on its side. Might have been right in that finish, but it's $7. $4 for Veselay, $9 and $10 for the likes of Wawale. We've also got Politeness and Griante. And
as Karma would have it, Hazard's drawn the outside gate.
Yes. So what will they do? Will they send it around?
Well, it's the perfect draw. It's a one-turn elbow. Like as we saw last time.
Such a shame.
When she was first up, she drew. It was like that was a big field, and so however many runners there were, she was on the outside of them. It didn't affect her at all. So I was a bit hard on her that day for that reason, and it's a mistake. Like the outside draw here is much better than the inside draw, significantly. Like the outside 4 draws are better than the inside 4 draws.
Come on, Lee. Are you listening? Lee sometimes watches, or he's involved in the punter show in some way, so listen to Daz.
Well, he let her go round first up at Caulfield, and she ran a great race.
She did,
she's right in this race. She's sort of well found, but there she is.
So
the favourite's Veselay. She's racing well. The last 2, she sort of struggled to find the line a bit, but she had every chance last week. So here she is on a 7-day backup from 1400. So she's fits in with a good winning chance again, but she's well found. So at the moment, I'd have to let her go around against me. I don't think she'll be this price by Saturday though, so she could end up on our team. Who knows? Horse that most interests me here went around first up against the boys in the race won by Chautauqua.
Okay.
So that's a really good prep up for a race back against the mares.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about Tycoon Tara.
Sure thing.
She draws the right sort of gate for her. She'll come across, sit outside Leslie's Choice, and she will be very hard to get past. And they did bet double figure odds, and I think that's still available with Tats. So that's a good price. The other horse I want to give a mention to here, or one of them, is Jessie Bell. She's just flying, and she'll race in exactly the right spot here, and she will be in the finish.
Okay.
So she's good odds. Hazard's a good chance. You know, and then there are other dangerous runners here first up. Horses like Politeness.
Yep.
Anyone else? Leslie's Choice is an interesting runner down from Queensland, but I think they'll be too good for her.
Any love for a horse like Atlantis Dream? It's at massive odds.
Yeah. She's really a third up horse. Like, she's got talent. Like, she's a 14.
I'll wait for a push from the mounting yard then before I get excited about her.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's probably a huge price. I'm not saying.
It's $31.
Yeah, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying it's not really her. You know, it's Darren Weir. It's third up, really. He likes to give him a bit of practice.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Tycoon Tara was a horse I had in my numbers last start, so no reason not to have a little something on, I think.
Nothing wrong with getting beaten just over 3 lengths by Chautauqua. It's fine.
Yep,
it is.
Race number 8, we have, this is also a feature race on the day. It's a bit of a step back from last week, but it's still a great betting card, is what we're saying in regards to the class factor.
Yeah, it's a better betting card.
Betting card.
I'm more excited.
How goes that? The United States gets a run because of the untimely death of Banker Mo. So no good for Banker Mo Connections. Apparently he had a heart attack at track work this morning, or where it had a little run around, so not good.
No, poor old Banker.
Yeah, no, good horse, especially for the some of the Tassie horses have been flying the flag recently.
They have, they're going well.
They are. United States gets into the field, $4 favourite, $6 for Sartorius, $10 our Ivanhoe. Look, we got Bold Sniper, Kapora, Magnapel, who was good for us.
Yep.
What are we thinking about?
Any news about Kapora? Because he's in Sydney, accepted in Sydney as well, I think, isn't he? So.
Look, put it this way, I haven't heard anyone saying it's coming to Sydney.
Right.
So maybe we'll lean towards Melbourne for now.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
Check the Twitter sphere.
I'd be surprised. I think he'll end up in Sydney, but I could be wrong. He's drawn gate 20, and I think he likes wet ground, so the forecast of rain will have them very interested.
It's supposed to be a big shower hitting tomorrow, and it's already hit Newcastle.
So I mean, I'd like to have him here because he's taking up too much of the market, but he's probably not going to be here.
Okay.
Really interesting race, interesting market.
Yeah.
Hard to line. Horses coming from all sorts of angles, but
what price did United States trade around the corner at last start? Sickening for those. Yeah. Beaten by the stablemate. Anyway.
Beaten by the stablemate. Anyway, righto. First port of call, here's Magnapel. This horse is in significant career best form. He's produced career best first up, and then he bird it second up.
Yeah.
And he gets a map structure here that means he's probably every chance of doing it again third up.
Wow, okay. Nice one.
So he's easy to back, easy to like. He's sort of around his right price, but no issues there. The United States is well found. I don't think he'll start favourite.
Yeah.
He might start close to, but not clear like he is at the moment.
Just looking at his last sort of 5 runs, he hasn't done anything at 2,000 metres, and they've put him at $4 just because of the obvious factor.
So what's your thoughts? Did he run up to win and just run out of fitness? Did he turn it up? Did the stablemate really kick back on him? What?
No, well, basically, I was so confident he was going to win because he had fitness on his side. Just when they and I thought, okay, this horse has run a great race for Lloyd first up, but we're going to get the favourite home. So I'm saying, well, it's obviously a fitness factor, or maybe it's just a lack of ability. I think found him out late.
It was a bit of a turn of the head there. Sort of, I'm sort of inclined to give him the benefit of the doubt, but sort of it had signs to me that he wasn't being all that genuine.
1600 up to 2000, and when he does that at the end of a mile is not something I like to take into 2,000 metre races.
So on Fulton, that was a good race.
Yeah, it was.
They produced good numbers. They put a good gap in the rest of them.
And it did run very well against the bias to start before.
Yep. He's a first up, second up, great runs. Third up, here he is. It's all good, but I just didn't like the way he sort of looked like he turned it up a bit to me.
Yeah, head on the side as well. Yeah.
He fits in there. Yeah. But to me, he's a saver.
Yeah, for sure.
At his current price, I'd let him go around against me. Yep. I think he'll get out, so I could save on him, but that'd be about where I'd be drawing a line with him.
Yeah.
Sartorius fits in there, but I think he'll need one first up. So, is he first up or second up?
Sartorius ran in the Bourbon, the Memsey. Yep.
No, well, that's he might as well not have ran.
Yeah.
So that didn't help you much.
No.
So
Very trial.
I think he'll need another one anyway, but he's capable. But I'm sort of thinking not quite.
Yep.
Here's one, old mate Hawkspur. When he got up to 2,000 metres last prep, he really he put in a couple of good runs, not far off Hartnell.
Yeah. Yep.
So I could spec him at big odds.
He's also been part of 2 fastical run races in Sydney. Yeah. So he might be going better than what looks to the form guide.
Definitely. And I mean, he was just, part of the Waller Army in those races, just going around. But he's sent down here and he's third up, so he's a hard horse to catch these days. But he's a big enough price to have a look at.
Yeah, definitely.
Our Ivanhoe is he's an intriguing runner. He's got
plenty of talk around for our Ivanhoe.
Yeah, well, and his record from Europe is too good for this field.
Yep.
Right. So, and watching him gallop in his jump outs and trials and things like that, he's a really stylish looking horse, you know what I mean? He looks well put together and moves really nicely, so he looks like have a lot of quality. He's tuned up, and
you'll see a different horse at 2,000 metres anyway, I think.
Yeah. Well, here he is, first up at 2,000, so I think Lee, that's saying Lee didn't want to put him in a shorter race where he was going to get
exactly,
especially a slowly run race. So I think he's here to play, and I think he's a backable price.
Okay.
I don't think his record's too good to be double figures here. So he'd have to be like not fancied by the stable.
Yep.
For him to run longer than that. So if the stable's thinking, he's here, and you hear Lee Freeman interviewed and he's confident, this horse will have to start shorter than that because his record's too good.
Yep.
Have I missed anyone?
Not really.
There's a lot of middling chances here, but none of them. There's also a pretty long tail to this race.
Yep.
Cafe Society's probably got something to offer.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
If Kapoor's here, I'll be opposing him. He needs 2,400 for mine.
Yeah.
I think we've sort of covered them all.
Yeah, Bold Sniper sort of did it overdo it. It says it was keen last time.
Well, on the European form, he's not in the same category as our Ivanhoe.
Okay. So what we're saying, if Lee Freeman camp has our Ivanhoe in a nice position, could be a bit of a value bet there.
Absolutely.
Fitness-wise, I was talking about. Okay.
I mean, Magnapel's going to set a pretty high mark here.
And the market's a pretty good read with them. You can look at disposition last week. Yeah. So the boys can train them.
And that was extraordinary.
Yeah. That was
450.
Yeah.
I put my hand up for a bit of 450. Into $3, and at $3 sat there for a while, and it paid $2 across the totes. I mean, it was just wow.
The power of the Freedmans. Look, the last race, we're up to a mile here. Sailing by $4, $7 Etymology, and $11 Kentucky Flyer. It's an open affair. What are we thinking here?
Well, first thing I'll say is, for those that take quaddies, I don't, but if you want to put the field in the final leg, go ahead. Why not?
Okay.
All of these have got a chance.
Beautiful.
So it's a race where you could easily let go. I could easily let it go.
They're trying something a bit different here with this sort of lightly raced horse of the last on the card.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it'll it'll be an interesting race.
Yep.
Because they're not exposed, these horses, so they're improving. No. So there's horses here that are way better than what we think they are.
Yep, for sure.
It's just a matter of finding the right one. So, you can have a bit of a guess, which is, I've done my diligence to try and figure it out, and I've come up with a couple, but, you might miss the right one.
Yep, for sure.
But the starting point here's the favourite Sailing By. On face value, she's top pick, but I don't know if Box will be much good late in the day, and that slowly run race behind Alaskan Rose is not really a good prep for this.
Yeah, okay.
So while I think she'll run well, I'm sort of, at the moment, happy to bet around her.
Yep, nice play.
And they'll all be very small bets from my part, but just horses at big odds. Invincible Knight has got talent. He was he was ridden into a cul-de-sac first up by Glenn Boss, and then just sort of let coast home for the last 300 or 400 metres, and his finishing position means nothing. I think he's good odds. There's 5 horses through that race at Sandown. The one that started...
They had no luck.
Yeah, they
all
just...
forgivable. Yep.
All forgivable, they all ran okay.
Okay.
Del Grappa finished closest to the finish there, but he had the best run, so I'm sort of not interested in him. But the one that started shortest was the Kiwi for Bjorn's father, Murray.
Oh, okay, yes, yep. Name.
Zacata.
That's the one.
Zacata, looks like a big horse. He was poorly drawn there at Sandown on the inside. He really didn't get any room. Yeah. And I would expect him to improve significantly second up at a mile. Yeah,
there was lots of talk about that horse going onto bigger and longer races. Yeah. I heard.
He's heading in that direction, and I think he'll run well here, and I think $16 is a big price.
Okay.
That's sort of, Kentucky Flyers sort of... I think we got our money out of him last start, and I think he'll... There's something about him that I don't mind, but I just don't think this is the right race for him.
Yeah, it might have been Christmas last start, I think.
Yeah, they just didn't really hit the line hard enough, those horses, but I'm not saying he's out of it.
No.
More Than Perfect's home track first time. He's coming off a nice win. He's got something to offer. Superbly looked good at, I think it was Bendigo. So there's just so many chances here. There's just so many chances, and it's really about price, which ones you want to back. Tarzino, even the Emergency Assertive Star, if he gets a run, he'd be worth a look. So, lots of chances.
Okay, beautiful.
In fact, however many run, that's how many chances there are.
Okay, we'll go wide in the quadding. Daz, thanks again for joining us for another preview. Your favourite track, Caulfield. Yep. And you're a little bit excited too.
I am. Good. This is betting nirvana, this sort of meeting. There's lots of chances and lots of races. There's value there. If the results fall our way, we'll be having a big day. Okay, beautiful. So Darren's set would be available right now. We've got all sorts of things going on our website. We've got free trials. We've got some specials. So have a look at the punter show. The RSPs are flying. Have a look at the top better, the tournament, to get involved in that. Daz ran 4th and didn't even have a bet last start in the last race last week. That's okay, he likes that. And it's an exciting time of year. It is. I think everyone's going well. So
everyone is going well.
It's good to be part of a successful team at the moment. It makes you strive a bit harder.
Sure is. Beautiful.
All right, mate.
All right, thanks guys. See ya.